If you are rehabbing a property either to rent it or just to flip it and sell it on the market, these are some key things that you have to include in your budget. We're gonna go over the top 4 things that will cost you a ton of money that you need to account for in your budget so you don't go over budget.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't include kitchens, baths, paint, or anything like that.
We're about to walk you through a real life house, a real life case study, and show you the big ticket items that you have to include in your rehab budget. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe. Luke, I'm gonna toss this subscribe. You can hit it. Subscribe, watch our videos, comment on them. We appreciate that. The algorithm likes that for some reason. So if you want to even comment your favorite color, favorite day of the week, that's fine. Or if you want to ask a question and actually get some feedback, I will gladly answer that question. So whatever you do, please just add a comment and I guess kick that like button too. So, alrighty, Lucas, I almost fell down the hill.
I'd break the phone, I think. Don't kick it, don't kick it.
Don't kick it, all right. So, what is the first thing? We're gonna go over the 4, and there might be a couple bonuses at the end, so stay tuned, some big bonuses. We're gonna go over the 4 things that you need to look at when you're running your rehab budget. Because Lucas, do you wanna be on budget or do you wanna go over budget?
I like being on budget. It doesn't always happen, but I like being on budget.
Perfect, so listen to this video and you will be on budget more often than before you watch this video. So what is the first big ticket item hint that you need to make sure to look at when you're walking a house to rehab?
Yeah, first of all, before we get into that, Sam said we are at a house. This is a house. We're live here, and not only is this a house, this is our house.
Yes.
We just bought this house 3 days ago, and we looked
How many times did you go to the house before you bought it?
Okay, this particular house I didn't go to one time, but that's all right. We had good pictures from our acquisition manager. So we bought the house off pictures, and I was able to account for these big ticket items off of pictures. Doesn't always happen. It's not always perfect. You might forget one, but try to account for these so you don't blow your budget.
Pro tip, when you're walking the property, make as many notes as you can, but take as many pictures as you can and a video so you can go back and reference it when you're finalizing your budget.
Yep, that's how I always do my budget anyway. A whole bunch of pictures and then go do your budget separately while you're sitting down and take your time.
All right, so what's the first big ticket item you need to account for that can cost you a ton of money if you don't?
So the big ticket item, especially sticking on the outside here, is exterior concrete work. Exterior concrete work could be patios. Like, what the hell are we gonna do with this thing? Yeah, so more than likely, we're gonna probably lay a deck over top of it, like but also it could be a patio, a new patio that you have to do outside your house because it's water's coming in through the back door or something like that. And another big concrete item on the front of your house is usually driveways. Driveways are huge. We budget like $5,000 for a driveway, and it doesn't add a lot of value to your house, so make sure that is in your budget. And then another one would be like a front porch if you have to mud jack that up or replace a front porch. So that's really the main exterior concrete things that we look for.
Just make sure to check out the concrete, because lots of times, or we've had it happen, where there's several cars parked in the driveway and you don't look at the cracks on the driveway, right? Because there's cars covering them. So make sure to check all the concrete you can. Alrighty, so the second tip, which you can kind of see from here, a little bit on the exterior and interior, is making sure to check your windows. The windows might look okay, but they can really crush you if they don't work or if they need repairs, because it's not cheap to repair a window because there's a bunch of little components in there and they might need to be replaced. So make sure you check your windows, every single windows, and you count your windows, because if you don't count your windows and you assume 300 a window, 400 a window, what if you miss 5 windows? That's a lot of money. So make sure you count your windows and make sure they work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So most of our rental houses are between 800 and 1,500 square foot. So we have about, I would say, 10 windows on average. So that's $3,000 worth of windows right there, because we usually budget about $300 per window. And that's not including your basement windows. So those are about $200 per window. So if you miss this ticket item, it could really blow your budget.
And you need to make sure to count them, because we probably have some houses that have 15, and if we just assume 10, then you need to make sure to count for every single window. The third big ticket item that you can't always see, so that's why this one is tricky, and this is one that Luke's going to talk about, probably having to go another step to ensure the condition of, but it is the roof. Roofs can be very expensive. Roofs can range from $4,000 to $8,000 depending on the house and the style and the size. So it's something you definitely want to account for. you definitely want to make sure it's in good enough condition. If it's not leaking, that doesn't mean it doesn't need to be replaced. So what is kind of our guidelines, Lucas, for replacing a roof? How much years are left and all that?
Yeah, so we get our main roofing contractor there to check out the roof, and usually he gives us, like Sam said, how many years or less. And if he gives us at least 5 years that roof is gonna hold, then we'll not replace it. But if he's like, that's gonna go out in the next 1 to 3 years or 0 to 3 years, we'll go ahead and replace that up front and keep that and add that roof in our budget.
And there's certain things you can look for on roofs. I would suggest bringing a small step ladder so you can at least get up and see. Like right now, we can't see the roof. I just tried to jump and I can jump really high.
No, we can't.
And I couldn't see the roof. So I would suggest bringing a little ladder with you so you can at least see it. If it's in perfect condition, you can tell. If it needs 100% replaced right away, you can tell. But there's a lot of middle ground that you're gonna need to bring an expert in on. But at least you can look at it and you can tell that's been replaced in the last couple of years, so you don't need to worry about it.
And there's a lot of different type of roof replacements. If it's a 3-tab roof, sometimes you can just put architectural shingles right on top. But if it's architectural or there's already 2 layers of roof on there, you gotta rip up all that roof, which might be an extra $1,000 or $2,000.
Let's go inside and give you the 4th big ticket item. And spoiler alert again, we got a couple, at least 2 bonuses that we'll go through.
All right, the 4th and final big ticket item that we're gonna talk about before we get into our bonus are the systems. And when I say systems, that would be your HVAC, so your furnace and your air conditioner.
Sorry, I had to go bathroom.
Did you get some spider webs on you?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so your furnace, your air conditioner, and also your water heater. So systems, we kind of go by the same guidelines as a roof. If we have more than 5 years worth of life in them, which you might need to get an expert out to let you know that, we'll keep them. But if not, we'll go ahead and replace those up front in our initial rehab.
Another huge reason why you want to make sure these have been replaced recently and don't need to be replaced soon is because the huge costs in maintenance for rentals is replacing stuff like this. You want to have as little maintenance as possible. The more maintenance you have every month, the less cash flow you receive every month. And also, if you're flipping a property, because obviously you don't always rehab to rent, if you're flipping a property, having nice new systems and nice big ticket items taken care of will make that house sell so much faster. If someone knows they're not going to have to replace a roof for 20 years or replace the HVAC system for a long time, they're much more likely to say, well, this house is move-in ready, I don't have to touch anything. So you're definitely going to get a higher offer, and I promise you're going to sell it faster if you have those things replaced in your budget from the beginning. We're going to give you some bonus tips on things you need to look for that could cost you a lot of money if you don't put them in your initial budget. The first one here is this stack. This is the drain stack for all the water in the entire house, so you need to make sure to check that because that can cost you $1,500, maybe a little more if it's a complex stack. So make sure to check your water stacks when you walk in the house.
Bonus tip. So that stack connects to the sewer lateral that goes out to the sewer main. So the sewer lateral could be collapsed, and that's a huge cost for you guys, and it's something that you can't see too. So a lot of times what we do, not every house, but if we think the stack could be compromised because there's maybe an overflow in the basement, we will run a camera down through the stack and look at the sewer lateral to make sure it's in good condition.
So another bonus tip for you guys is always check the electric panel. There are some electric panels that may appear to be working that have to be replaced by code. Each code is different by each municipality, so make sure you know your local municipality code. This electric panel obviously needs to be replaced because of its age. If you got any value out of this video, go to this video here above. Lucas and I talk for over an hour about how to buy your first rental property, everything from A to Z and in between that you can learn and you need to learn when you're buying your first rental property. And it's an option for you to do that, but if Lucas can punch through this wall, you have to do that.
Check this out. Haha, just kidding.